which law school is best for fill in the blank type of law. The general rule is that it doesn't matter whether you're filling in the blank with business law or healthcare litigation or intellectual property arbitration. The answer is the same. It's the absolute best law school you can get into that you will also be happy attending. Now, some people will tell you that my qualifier at the end is wrong. They'll say, just choose the highest ranked school, full stop. I understand their reasoning, but the truth is that you don't have to be miserable in law school. You can't control who your classmates will be, and literally every school is going to have a handful of a-holes and a handful of amazing humans, no matter what. But some schools have a well-deserved reputation for cordiality and even friendliness and fun amongst the students. I'm thinking of UVA specifically, although I'm obviously quite biased because my experience there was so wonderful. But I've heard that Vanderbilt, Michigan, and Duke have similar cultures. If that matters to you, you might struggle at a place like Georgetown or Columbia, which are phenomenal schools, but which have reputations for a more cutthroat student body. Consider also whether you will thrive or struggle in the environment around the school. If you despise big city living and you need a lot of green space and personal space and quiet to recharge, it's certainly possible that you'll adapt and adjust and power through if you go to NYU or Columbia, because plenty of people do. But trying to cope with a noisy, frenetic city environment when you're longing for mountain air, it's just one more thing to divert your attention from your work. And with a law school curriculum, you won't have too much attention to spare. Vice versa, too, by the way. If you're a big city person, you might get antsy and frustrated in a college town with no major cities nearby. And that could be a long and lonely 3 years. Even the weather. If you deal with seasonal depression, or even if you just hate the cold, you're going to have a tougher time at Yale or UPenn than you would at a school like Virginia or Stanford with a more temperate climate. That's going to sound bonkers to some people, but that actually ended up being a significant factor in my own decision. I know traveling is expensive, but if you can visit the campus before you make your decision, do it. It's like buying a house or going on a date with a person that will eventually become your spouse. You're likely to get a gut feeling as to what's right for you. The only exception to this that I'm going to mention today is if you are absolutely unequivocally certain that you want to practice any type of law in an area that's not one of the primary markets, that is New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, LA, Boston, or San Francisco, or frankly, even one of the secondary markets like Atlanta, Denver, Dallas, Austin, Nashville, Houston, and so on. In that case, law school rankings start to matter a little less relative to local connections and scholarship dollars. But since I'm running along as usual, I'm going to save that discussion for a future video. Differing opinions are welcome. Are you a finance lawyer who thinks you must go to school in New York City, or an entertainment lawyer that would have had a totally different career if you'd gone anywhere other than USC or UCLA? Share your story.